guys, welcome to another episode of He Said,
She Said
with Josh
and Roz.
Hey, welcome back to the show. We are excited to be back.
We are.
We've taken a little bit of a break.
Hey, we needed that personal space.
Joshua's fault.
Shade room. Yes, it was my fault.
We're excited to be back.
I'll take the blame.
Yeah.
We had to take some time to develop. Hey, listen, the last time I said I was starting a church now, it's a lot. I had to do some meetings. I had to take some time for me. I still need to, but you know what? That's the thing. We got to learn how to grow through
what we're going through. And that's today's topic. So that's a great segue into that, actually.
Hey.
So yeah, we're going to be talking about how you grow through what you're going through. Because I think we all are kind of going through different things in our lives,
right.
Whether it be, things related to your job, your relationships, which relationships tend to be the number one thing for most people.
Right.
Financial things can be happening for people. So we got to, try to figure out how we navigate those situations and how we find growth in those as we're navigating.
Yeah. Because it's hard.
It is.
It's hard to actually see that you need to grow.
Oh, that's a good one.
Because sometimes we don't know that we need to grow and we're going through something and we still don't get what the lesson is.
Oh, wow. That's a perfect point, because I think sometimes we feel like, especially when going through a tough situation, we feel like it's everybody else.
Right. We can point the blame.
Right. It's like,
point that finger.
I'm in this situation because, this person did this to me, or these people have wronged me.
Yeah.
But in reality, there may be an opportunity for you to grow.
Absolutely. And I think that's what we need to do, like, as far as our perspective, change your perspective. Maybe sometimes, instead of looking at all the negative things about your life, about your situation, whatever you're going through. I'm not sure who's, because there's a lot of people who are actually happy all the time.
Yeah,
Joel Osteen is probably one of them. Or at least sounds like it. I know he's not. But some people put on the best facade.
He does.
You're just like, wow.
He wakes up with rainbows and gummy bears.
And like rains of money. Like, just wake up, my account is still in the 12 millions. Like the 20th century, I'm still good.
Right.
Hey, we're going to believe God that we still good. Amen. We're going to believe for the millions as well. We wake up happy like Joel Osteen. He probably got honey butter bagels just delivered to him, fresh bowls of fruit.
He probably does. So
like everything.
Fresh flowers every morning. Yeah.
Fresh flowers. None of this stale old stuff. What a fake. Everything here is real.
Right.
But I mean, in a sense, that's how you have to look at life. Just think about more of the positives or what you could do to grow from a situation that you're going through. So I know I could talk about my situation right now. It's like dealing with a family, just understanding how to raise your children can be a major responsibility and a major toll on a lot of people, because it is a lot of responsibility. It takes a lot of your time. When you're trying to do so many things at once and you have so many responsibilities, your kids have to be like priority number one.
Absolutely.
But then how do you prioritize other things that need to be priority one as well? It's like, okay, if I have a business, I need to make that priority number two, but number one in a sense. And then I have my kids, they need to be priority number one, but still got God. So I still be like little two-ish, one-ish.
Wait a minute.
So it's like God
this
is my...
sounding complicated.
Exactly. You have to put God first.
Right.
That is my number one rule. Put God first before anything. Your
I agree.
Family is second.
But I think with anything in life, just like you walk, you put one foot in front of the other. So you take one step at a time. There's not, you prioritize like you mentioned, but you can only do one thing at a time. I know we love to say, I can multitask.
Oh, we multitask like a bug.
It's not effective, and multitasking doesn't work. It's not effective. It's not efficient, because if you're multitasking, one thing will lack.
Yeah.
While you're perfecting the next thing.
I don't know, Roz, because I mean, literally, this generation, I see a lot of kids who out here doing like 400 things, and they doing it.
But are they doing all of those 400 things well?
That is true.
That's the thing.
Because you really can't divide your time that many different ways.
I can try and talk on the phone and type. Like if I want to type an email at work and talk on the phone,
yeah,
something's going to suffer. So either the conversation, I'm going to lack in the conversation because
Sure.
I can't devote all of my attention to it, or the email is going to sound crazy because I can't necessarily devote all my attention to that. I mean, I literally try this all the time.
Right. It's like one thing's got to stop.
Right. Somebody's going to lag. And usually, if the conversation lags, then I'm like, the person speaking to me and I'm like, huh? Because I'm trying to focus on the email.
Well, I think, what is that? Paralegals, executive assistants, they might have some good multitasking skills. They know how to take.
You'll be surprised.
I mean, well, say, hey, listen, not all
Everybody's
of them.
not smart.
I told you it's the shade room this week. It's the shade room. But no, to get back to just understanding the situation. Okay, if I'm dealing with so many things, like my kids have so many activities now, and we're doing them my schedule from 7 to 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. I am booked. It's a long day. I am booked. Don't talk to me. Don't call me until afterwards. And then by that time, I really don't want to talk to you. So it's just email me. I'll talk to you in between.
Right.
But just trying to find balance and areas that I can learn how to multitask or just do things effectively that will cause my attention to kind of get not distracted, but just shifted in so many different areas because I do need to focus on business. I still do need to have meetings with other people. I still need to travel sometimes and talk to other people who have more experience with this, but also still give, my family that devoted time as their father, make sure that I'm at every one of my son's games and make sure I'm at their practices and making sure I'm getting them from school, whatever it is, just trying to find that balance. I'm trying to learn how to grow through that because I don't want to lose my head. It's like literally I get frustrated with just dealing with this steady schedule all the time. I know it's other moms and dads out there who deal with all kinds of stuff and they might have a good handle on it, but I'm learning how to grow.
Yeah, I mean, it takes time, to figure out your groove in certain situations, especially I think because your kids are definitely at the age now, everybody's at an age where something's new happening for them and they're into different things. So you just figure it out. I mean, there's 7 days in a week. You figure out how to fit everybody's stuff into the schedule, but you do have to then also figure out the time for yourself to devote for, the projects that you're working on.
Right.
So it's a delicate balance, but you can do it. God has given you the mental capacity to handle it, and you just get up and you work your day. Set your schedule and move towards that.
Well, you know what? I just heard you say that.
What?
I literally don't feel like you can do any of this without God.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I say first, keep Him first because.
Well, you remember when we were growing up. Older people always say, give me strength, God, give me strength. You hear that?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
You need
Jesus,
it.
give me strength. They will always say that. And now I get it because you literally need strength just to get through the day
through
a lot of times.
Situation.
Yeah. But also knowing that this too shall pass. So even if you're having the rough days, which we all do, and it's funny because even before we had a completely different topic for this show today.
Right, yeah.
And wind up having a whole hour session before we started recording because we were discussing our own challenges and, trying to figure out how to get through.
So I would say have an accountability partner.
Yes.
Because literally somebody who can be there to help vent and just be your sounding board, or you just have them as your sounding board, because literally sometimes you won't know what to do. Like you told me before, it's like sometimes if you don't know what to do, ask somebody.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have all the answers, which we don't, you're gonna need some advice.
I like to think that I have all the answers, but
listen, that's what I say.
It's that Rosalind and the Roz in me that makes me think I know everything. I'm all knowing.
Right.
But I'm not.
That's what I'm saying. And that's how you grow up.
Yeah, absolutely. When you realize, right.
What you need to work on, what you thought was wrong or what you thought was right.
Right.
Probably is not right. You need to get it together. Right. So that's a part of growing up. That's a part of learning how to grow is learning what you need to work on. Self-development.
Yeah. So we'll talk about let's give the people three
tips.
3 tips. Yeah. And I think that's the first one. Definitely.
Because we talked about self-care, self-love. What is it? Self-love.
Yeah.
In the beginning. That's
absolutely
a part of self-development is recognizing your flaws. I won't say flaws necessarily, but just things that you need to, your weaknesses.
Yeah.
Certain things, like we talked about anger before this. It's like, okay, if you know you have a temper problem, you know, you might lose your cool every so often, and you recognize that. You say, hey, listen, darn, I do pop off on people. I do, you know, spit out a lot of negative words, especially when I get angry. How do I work on this? Right. If that's going to your friend and just say, hey, like next time I yell at somebody, just, you know, bring me to the side, whatever it is, you know, check me on this. Or if you see me popping off and I'm getting out of control, you know, check me. That's the biggest thing, is to help me be accountable and change this. Because self-development is a must to make you grow.
Absolutely.
And be a better person, for one. Correct. Because the world needs better people. we got enough negative people, so
we have enough crazies in the world.
Yeah.
That was a good movie. I don't know if you've seen that one, The Crazies.
Mm-mm.
It was about this town where the drinking water was contaminated by some type of pathogen that was leaked into the water source, and then made all the people turn into like these crazies.
Oh Lord. Is that on Netflix?
No, it was like a motion.
Like a regular film?
Yeah, like a regular film. It came into the movies and everything. I used to love to watch it, though.
See, well, you know what? That's another thing. What we watch, what we see, what we hear is how we'll probably be.
Yeah, right.
We gotta watch what we see and hear, because clearly it gets inside of your spirit. But
yeah.
That's a whole nother topic too. But
now, so my tip would be, tip number 2 for growing as you are going through things is sometimes after you've recognized something about yourself, it may be necessary to step back.
Oh my goodness. Ooh. Yeah.
And remove yourself from certain situations or people, right, to, you know, work on whatever that thing is.
Yeah, absolutely. That's
before
good.
You face those situation scenarios again. Mm-hmm. You know, sometimes you can't help it, but if you can, like for anger, you just mentioned, if you know certain situations make you angry and you want to work on your anger, begin to remove yourself from those situations if you can, that you know are going to make you angry or make you react in a negative way. And, you know, of course you want to work on your anger and maybe if you can seek professional help if you need it. But begin to just really, you know, be mindful of those situations that make you angry. Mm-hmm. You know, even if you have to write it down, and figure out, there are books about how to change your anger.
Yeah.
But really that's my tip.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
I would say this, I don't know if this could be 3 if you agree or not. But changing your perspective and
mindset.
Thinking positive.
Yes.
Because you have to
the boomerang.
Exactly.
You got to tell them about the boomerang.
The boomerang effect. If you throw out a boomerang, you're expecting that thing to come back. Obviously, that's what a boomerang is for. It's just you throw it out far. Now, sometimes you can throw it far, but it's still supposed to come right back. Right. That's exactly how positive thinking or negative thinking will work. If you spew out something from your mouth, whether that's negative and you know you were wrong, it's going to come back to you. If you did something positive, you're going to have something positive happen back to you. So it's better, even if it's a negative situation, it is better for you to throw out something positive so you know it'll come back to you positive. I told Roz before this, I said, listen, you can cover everything up with love. I said, if you cover up, and I use a different word, but poop, let's just say that. If you cover up some boo-boo with love, then you won't smell that anymore. Mm-hmm. Love will cover all things. Love always wins. I always say that because it's really how you react and respond to somebody or something or to whatever situation you're responding to. If you respond with love, it's going to soften that person's heart or soften that situation. It's going to make it a little bit easier to approach. If I come with a soft answer instead of something harsh, it's just going to change the whole atmosphere. So it's better to just really think positive, even in a negative situation. I know that's extremely hard for some people, but that's the thing that you're working on. So the self-development, and then taking that step back.
Yeah.
and then thinking positive that you can do it.
Absolutely.
You will be able change your
Right.
perspective because you have to want this for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you don't, then hey, you're the problem.
Actually, I think that's kind of a two-parter. So I would think that one would, as far